and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. So I found a very interesting video online. I shared a small part of it on my TikTok, but this is a documentary video that was done about 5 years ago. We're dating back to 2016. This is pre-Meghan. This is pre-Meghan days, or maybe right when Harry first started dating Meghan. Ant and Dec went and interviewed them along with Prince Charles. It was talking about the 40 years of the Prince's Trust and what he accomplished during his charity. And they interviewed the boys at Kensington Palace and talked about their life. And you can hear Harry and how he's so much happier and jovial, you know, how he used to be very happy, and the brothers had a very close-knit bond. And you can hear Harry talk about his father and his childhood. He doesn't seem like the angry, revengeful Harry that he is today. It is like night and day. So I'm going to play a little clip for you and watch this interview and tell me you don't see a difference. He even talks about loving living next door to his brother and how it's convenient for him and how he loves doing their charity work together and his happy childhood. And it doesn't seem like a person who would get married and within a couple of months leaves and breaks ties with his brother, moves out of Kensington Palace, wants to start a completely new brand, the Sussexes, all on his own. To me, that sounds a lot like Meghan's influence. It is like Harry was very happy to be where he was in this video compared to the man he is today. Watch the video and let me know your thoughts.
Today, yeah, this was where Princes William and Harry were brought up by Charles and Diana, just over there actually, and this is where the princes live now.
We're going to chat to them today about growing up here, about their father, about the Prince's Trust, and about whatever else takes our fancy.
I can always hear the wheels of those plastic tractors that George loves playing on.
Oh, really?
So they've got this as a giant playground for them.
Do you see a lot of each other around here?
We do, yeah. I mean, at the moment, since we've both sort of left the military and stuff, it's kind of our sort of programs and stuff go in different directions. But we always try and make time to see each other and pop round, and he comes and scrounges all food off us and things like that.
Do you? See, that's what he used to do to me.
It's really nice to be able to live next to each other and be neighbours.
Yeah.
And also have our office here as well.
Yeah.
Which is key, really, for us. So.
Feels like it must be a bit of sanctuary for you here as well, because it is so quiet and it's kind of, and having grown up here, it feels like, do you feel really relaxed and at home when you get back?
It's kind of the only sort of peace and quiet that we get.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, these are nice.
That's a long time ago. It's brutal.
Is that your Zoolander pause?
That was a long time ago.
It's missing a little beard though, that's the problem. Shall we...
Please, any improvements are welcome. It's really embarrassing because when we go on tours and stuff, as a thank you, it seems to be so this tradition that you say thank you very much. There's a photo of myself. What are you supposed to do?
Yes,
here's a photo of me. Thanks for having me.
We're in your old living room, did you say?
Yes, yeah, a long time ago. We used to be in here, yeah, it used to be a playroom.
Happy memories, definitely.
Yeah.
Memories, yeah.
Has fatherhood changed you now that you've got the two children?
I'm a lot more emotional than I used to be.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, weirdly. I never used to really kind of sort of get too wound up or worried about things, but now the smallest little things I can feel you well up a little bit more.
Right.
And you get affected by sort of things that happen around the world or whatever a lot more, I think, as a father, just because you realise how precious life is and it puts it all into perspective. The idea of not being around to see your children grow up and stuff like that. But, from some of my earliest memories, I remember my mother and father taking us to charities and organisations and showing us, what goes on. And I think it's seeing such a broad spectrum of life. It's really important from a young age to give you a bit of perspective to go, you don't just live in a palace. It's very important you get out and you see what goes on in the real world.
And you obviously ask him for advice as well on the stuff you're doing.
The advice that he can give us based on the contacts that he's made over the years is incredible.
Yeah.
You can actually ring him up and say, well, I'm a bit of a pickle here, or even better, you can offload stuff.
Yeah.
If someone does say something to me, there's always a little light bulb that goes, hang on a second, I'm in no position to be able to do this for lack of knowledge or whatever. And you just ring and say, Paul, can you do this? And then he's guaranteed to have at least one, if not two people who are specialists in that area, and they can get things done.
Everybody growing up was always embarrassed by their parents. Did your dad embarrass you much? Did you ever get...
All the time. A typical, one example, being in a play at school. Yeah. And there was a particular scene that he found very amusing. Much more amusing than the rest of the audience. Yeah.
It wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny, no one else is laughing, but because of something, because he, obviously, like a parent, they know you, and you're putting on this sort of persona or whatever. He just burst out laughing. In fact, my grandfather was there the same night, and it was just the two of them. And that's all I could hear.
He got a very loud laugh, like a really loud laugh.
Amazing.
And no one else laughs. He always laughs at the wrong moment. Right. And doesn't think, I should probably stay quiet. Just thinks it's the best thing ever.
He loved living next door to his brother, and it was very important for them to run their charities, to be in close contact. Then he shared a couple of funny stories of his childhood. He seemed very happy to be talking with his brother. They're in their former playroom at Kensington Palace. He even says the house is his sanctuary, very quiet, very peaceful. Yet he's telling people every time he flies into London, he's triggered and he has to do the EFT and get all those repressed memories back, talking about how his father used to be so neglectful. Then he shares about reading his letters that he obviously received from school and how his father would laugh and burst into laughter at school plays. This doesn't seem to me like a father who was very absent from his life. It seems like a man who was very busy, who had a lot of duty, but still had some time to be there for his boys. Now, I don't know Charles. We don't know everything behind closed doors, but when you look at the two of them, you see the camaraderie, the love of the brothers, the happiness, the funny stories they love to tell. That doesn't sound like someone who came from an emotionally bankrupt, abusive, neglectful childhood. I'm not an expert, but when you look at the old Harry, you look at the body language between the brothers and between him and Kate and William, how they used to have fun and they used to play together. And you look at Harry now, how he's very angry and tries to do anything he can to bring up, the race card and political activism, and how he likes to lecture people on how to be woke and how he's triggered. And now he's out in Hollywood and selling himself out to the highest bidder. This wasn't Harry 5, 6, 7 years ago. The Harry 5, 6 years ago was very well in his role to be a prince. He wanted to find a woman to marry and be a partner with, the way that William had with Kate. He wanted to find his Kate Middleton. He wanted to bring her into the fold, and he thought he was going to marry a woman who was going to fall in line and be a team player and be part of the family and just continue the legacy. He was looking for a woman to put on that table, that photo that was, with William and Kate, and then there was the single little Harry. Harry just wanted to have a little photo of him and his wife to put on the table, and he wanted to continue moving forward, running his charities with his brother, carrying on his father and his mother's legacy. But now, 5 years later, he's out as Freedom Harry and the woke prince and talking about, climate control and lecturing people on getting the vaccine, and meanwhile selling his story out on Oprah and Apple TV to the highest bidder. That doesn't seem like the Harry in this interview. Harry wanted to find a woman to fit into his royal lifestyle. He wasn't looking for an anarchist, feminist woman who wanted to break him free of the jail and the prison of his royal life. He wasn't a prisoner. He was not an unhappy person. He was very happy in that interview. So was Meghan whispering in his ear, telling him, no, Harry, you need help. You're not really happy. They're neglecting you. You're the spare to the heir. You're not important. You need to be in Hollywood. You need to make your own money. It doesn't seem like the person that he was back then. He seemed very content in his role. And after he met Meghan, He broke away from not only his family, his country, his patronages, his title, but he broke off of living next door to his brother. He didn't get to see Prince George riding his scooter in the hallways anymore. He then was living in Frogmore Cottage. They then had their new brand, Sussex Royal. Everything became completely cut off and separate the minute Meghan Markle pushed her way into this family. And you're going to try to tell me that's a coincidence? It's not. This woman had no intention of fitting into the royal fold. She wanted to come in and brand it and get the most that she could get out of it. And she wanted to go right back to Hollywood and start her acting career over, because now she's an A-lister. She was a D-lister. Now she's next door to Oprah Winfrey. When she was Rachel on Suits, she couldn't afford a $15 million Montecito mansion. Oprah didn't even know who she was. Harry is the one who propelled her to the global, worldwide stage. She needed that Duchess title and that royal wedding to seal the deal. This is a plan. This is a woman on a mission. World domination. And Harry, you're just along for the ride. Harry's just along for the ride, and what he doesn't realize is now it looks fun, and people are like, oh my God, you're so brave, and we're applauding you for coming out and speaking about the horrible royal family. Oh, you're so brave. What he doesn't understand is he is burning his bridges, and he is aligning with a woman who is a snake. She is a snake. You don't align yourself with a snake and thinking she's not going to turn around and bite you. Harry does not realize that him and Meghan are on that little island of wokeness all by their little selves. And yeah, they might have a couple people applauding them, but those people applauding them are not paying their bills. They're not going to be there for him when it all falls apart. And he has burned his family to the point where they don't care anymore. They do not care anymore. And one, they don't trust him. When someone burns you once, what is it? Shame on them. Burn you twice, shame on you. Harry's done this already 2 times publicly. 2 times publicly he has burned his family. They're not going to sit around and say, okay, Harry, crap on us some more. Come on, we're ready for it. And then, oh, come home for Christmas. Here's a gift for Archie. No. He is burning those bridges. Burning them. And when Meghan turns around and decides she's had enough of Harry and she's got all the money and the fame she wants, and she's going to start eyeing her next husband, maybe someone who's a little richer, Harry's going to be trying to turn around realizing there's no one waiting for him. He is by himself. People in America don't care for him. Britain, they're done with him. His family, I don't think they even want him to show up for the unveiling. I think he's done. And the sad truth is he thinks, this is helping his brand. Controversy is great for a television show. It was wonderful ratings for Oprah Winfrey. And this new Apple TV it helped bring in like 25% new people because people wanted to watch the show, so they had to buy the app, right? So he's thinking he's just awesome. But when it comes to Hollywood and the very rich people and the successful entrepreneurs and people like Netflix and Spotify, they don't really like scandal that much, right? Like, they're in bed with him right now and they have that contract, but nothing is 100%. They've only done 1 podcast on the Sussex Royal Spotify. 1. I think that's done. I don't think they're going to make any money from Spotify. I mean, where are the podcasts? Why aren't there any more podcasts? It's been 6 months. Where are they? You don't hear anything about their podcast anymore. They did 1 episode and it's gone. Netflix, he's produced 1 show on Invictus, and then they're doing a children's program. Are you going to watch a children's program from Harry and Nutmeg? I mean, her book, The Bench, went over like a lead potato, right? That book, The Bench, has already been marked down. It's going to be in the clearance bin before it's even released. it's not going to be a hit with children. That was a Meghan, I want to feel good about myself. I'm competing with Kate's book, Markle, I'm writing a book. That whole book was about, hey everyone, I'm an author too. She can't stand for Kate to have anything. She cannot stand for Kate to have anything. This was a look at me book. Really wasn't about kids. It was about Meghan. Okay? So Harry, you better have, you better hope this marriage works out, because you were burning bridges. And, Meghan's already burned off all the bridges on her side of the family. She doesn't care. Doria's just hanging out there hoping she doesn't, say anything wrong. Doria's walking around on eggshells. But Harry, you've lost your entire family. And the queen who was you were her favorite grandchild. You done pissed her off. I don't think you realize you're going to be an island of one very soon. You do not align yourself with a snake. You do not align yourself with a snake. And Meghan is a viper. She is a viper. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe because it really helps the channel. Make sure you check me out on TikTok. I go off on there, and follow me on Instagram, guys. Check out the merch below and have an awesome and amazing day.